So, hi Nilesh, thank you very much for joining me today. How are we?
Yeah, very good, thanks, Gabby.
Excellent, excellent. So we were going to be talking about mydentist, and you were appointed the Chief Executive Officer in April.
That's right.
I think a good place to start with these is always, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what made you interested in the dentistry sector?
Sure. So, look, I think most people that come into the healthcare sector, dentistry being part of that, come into it to help people. And actually, when I was younger, I wanted to be a medical professional at the front line. And at the age of 16, I went to Eastman Dental Hospital to do work experience and fainted in the middle of a procedure. It was a disaster. It showed I didn't have the right mettle to be at the front line. It actually was a huge personal disappointment. But that's why now I'm really excited to be in this role because I can help people again. And that's why our business focus is totally built around the frontline clinicians and practice teams, because through them, we can deliver outstanding care to our patients every single time.
Amazing, thank you. I think a burning question in this interview may be, what is your top priority for mydentist?
That priority actually is quite simple for me and for the business. So I want mydentist to be the best place to work in UK dentistry. Mm-hmm. And building the best place to work actually starts from listening to the clinicians. So I and my exec team visit practices every week to hear firsthand from them what's working and what isn't. We have operational and clinical support teams that visit practices every day to do the same. We run an annual Great Place to Work and Practice survey, which is structured feedback from the clinicians and other staff on what's going well and what isn't. And then we've also got an independent clinical advisory board through which we receive constant feedback from some of our most respected clinicians. And listening to clinicians for us isn't a one-time activity, it's constant and it's never too much. And it's through that we've built the priorities based on what they're telling us they want. And that is, first of all, flexibility to grow the careers that are right for them. Secondly, they want access to outstanding clinical support to guide and help build their confidence as they develop their careers with more complex dentistry, because that support ensures their well-being is protected, and well-being is really important to them. And then finally, they want to work in high-quality practice environments with the best materials and equipment. And by delivering on these priorities, that means that we have clinicians who are happy to work at mydentist, and they deliver great care to our patients, which is ultimately what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. I think those key words there of well-being and career progression, I'm definitely seeing those crop up a lot more at the moment, given the kind of chaos of the last few years especially. I think they're both high on the priority list of many. I mean, what other changes are you making to make mydentist a great place to work?
Well, look, we listened to their feedback and we've already acted on that feedback. So first of all, we've scrapped NHS targets.
Okay.
We focus on supporting clinicians to grow the careers that are right for them individually, whether they want to spend that on NHS, private or a mix. We've also invested in the largest clinical leadership and support team in UK dentistry. So we've got 6 full-time clinical directors, and they're central actually to all clinical and commercial decisions we make. We've got a team of 50 clinical development advisors, and they focus on supporting, advising and guiding dentists to grow their careers and maximize their earnings potential. And we've also got 300 clinical mentors to support our newest clinicians. And then on top of that, at the largest practices with lead clinicians who support the full team. And as part of the 3-year plan, we've invested tens of millions building new practices in prime locations, as well as doubling the number of iOS scanners. So all of that means that they're working in the best facilities and have the best tools to perform dentistry. And then finally, we've also put record investments into salaries for frontline practice teams, because it's critical for the support of clinicians to have happy and focused frontline teams. And that then ultimately means that the patients are also well looked after. So look, we keep listening and we keep adapting. And this is how we ensure that the entire frontline team is happy, they're motivated, and again, in that way, they're able to deliver the best outcomes for our patients.
Perfect, thank you. I think there's a couple of things actually I'd like to talk about there. One being the investments that you mentioned in your 3-year plan. Can you go into a bit of detail about this? What does this exactly involve?
Sure. So look, last year we invested about 50 million in our network of practices, and actually this year we're going to invest more. And we are investing for the long term of our business. And we're doing that in a number of ways. So first of all, by expanding and refreshing more than half of our practice portfolio. And fundamentally there, we accommodate more clinicians that can deliver great care to more people. And this is at a time when, oral health needs have increased. And then secondly, we're investing in the best materials, technology and equipment, such as iOS scanners, so that they can deliver excellent patient care. And critically, we're building large-scale brand new practices in high street and retail locations that offer world-class facilities for clinicians, practices and staff and the patients. And these large-scale practices are really important to us because first of all, clinicians feel happy and supported when they're part of larger teams. And secondly, patients have the convenience and accessibility in high street and retail locations. And this is actually a unique strategy that's resonating with clinicians, practice staff and our patients. And then on top of that, we're making investment in our back office systems over and above the physical estate. Because what we're doing there is simplifying and speeding up processes so that practice staff spend less time on admin and more time actively supporting the clinicians. When you take all of that together, that means more patients than ever are getting access to the high quality and affordable healthcare that we deliver at mydentist practices, but from clinicians and practice teams who love what they do and where they practice. And that's something that we're incredibly proud of.
I think there may be some people watching who may already be employed by mydentist or maybe considering a move to a mydentist practice. What kind of on-the-ground impact will these investments have for them? What benefits will they see?
That's a great question. Look, the investment is right across our business. It's at practices, it's at our support centre, it's actually across all job roles. Because outstanding practice care can only be delivered by optimising everything we do and where we do it. We're literally in the middle of that journey, but we are actually pleased to see that we are making progress and the teams are telling us that they're seeing a difference. I'll give you some examples. So in a recent clinical survey, 90% of clinicians said they're getting the support that they need when they need it. 87% of them believe that they can develop their full potential at mydentist with the careers that they want. And 86% of them are proud of the range of affordable treatments that are offered to patients. So clinicians see that we're listening to them, and that means that we've seen a marked improvement in clinical retention rates and more clinicians are joining the mydentist family.
Yeah. I think another part that stood out was your mention of scrapping targets. I find that interesting. I think a lot of people listening will find that interesting too. I mean, what was the reasoning behind this? Is this something that's been received well? I can imagine so, but I think it's worth asking the question.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair question and a good question. And look, yes, we have scrapped NHS targets, and that has absolutely been welcomed by dentists. Because look, clinicians were telling us that they want to decide what type of dentistry they provide, and we listen. So now clinicians can choose an NHS allocation at the start of the year. They can increase it or decrease it over the year, and they choose how they balance their time between NHS and private treatments. Because our view is pressurizing clinicians to hit targets is wrong. Instead, what we need to do is support clinicians to build whatever careers they think is best for them. And we do that through our clinical support teams and first-class training opportunities. And we're actually uniquely positioned also at mydentist to help our clinicians build their private incomes with our strategic focus on affordable private dentistry. And this is actually a lifeline for hundreds of thousands of patients who are unable, and probably millions who are unable to access NHS care. Because what it does is it delivers private treatments that the patients want, but at prices that work for them. And we can do this because our scale allows us to build strategic relationships with suppliers, and our scaled practices drive operational efficiencies so that costs can be kept low, which means we're passing on that in pricing that is more affordable. And importantly, that pricing is transparent so that patients know exactly what treatment costs, and clinicians feel engaged with their patients because they don't have to go through that negotiation, right? And so importantly, we also have affordable finance and affordable plans so that they can spread the cost of treatments, which gives them peace of mind for themselves and their families. So what we're finding is that patients get the private offerings that they want and can afford, and clinicians are getting to grow their private incomes, And that is why half of the dentist incomes today at mydentist actually come from private treatments.
Okay.
So therefore, giving clinicians the flexibility of no NHS target and choosing the dentistry that is best for them means that we're able to retain them, means that we're able to give the right treatments to our patients. And so, we have happy clinicians and happy patients, which is what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it sounds like a win-win from how you describe that. So what's next? Obviously, you've been the Chief Executive Officer since April, so about just short of half a year. How has it been, and what are your visions looking forward?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's been great because everything that we set out to do, we're doing, and we think it's resonating. And look, our entire focus as a business fundamentally is to make mydentist the best place to work in UK dentistry, because by doing that allows us to deliver outstanding care to more and more patients. So this means that in the coming years, we will continue to transform what we do and how we do it to achieve those ambitions. And it is a big ambition. Obviously, we haven't got everything right in the past, but what we keep doing is we make sure that we have the right plan in place, and we keep listening to dentists and our frontline staff, and we keep adapting on that feedback. And we make sure we're investing in the clinical support, we're investing in our property estate, we're investing in technology, so that we are delivering on everything that they're asking for. And you asked what's happened over the last few months. We're actually seeing the results today, right? So we've got more dentists joining us from around the country and actually around the world. And we've got more dentists staying with us because of the clinical support that's provided to help build their careers, and to allow them to do the dentistry that they want, again, with no NHS targets, and with significant private demand. And also, we're increasingly investing in state-of-the-art practices in, as I said, retail locations with modern technology. And all of that means that our patients are getting the best oral care possible. And as we said at the outset, Gabby, the reason why we're all working so hard and why we love what we do is because we came into healthcare to help people, and that ultimately is what it's about. And we feel really good that that's actually what we're delivering.
Well, I'm glad to hear the first 6 months have been a joy for you, and long may that continue going forward. Thank you so much for giving up your time this afternoon. You've answered some great questions there.
Thanks, Gabby. Thanks for your time.